Hey everyone, good morning and good evening. So let's start with today's session. Let's see what exactly we're doing today. Let me quickly share my screen. Okay, so quick recap. Yesterday we spoke about what exactly is Azure Artifact. We saw how exactly we can create our own private feed and package custom application and push it to the private feed, and how do we consume it. Okay, various way of consuming we saw, using build pipeline, how we can integrate Azure Artifact with build pipeline, and then we saw how we can integrate the things with Visual Studio. Today we'll focus on Maven. Now why Maven? Because the next project what we have, that is a Java Spring Boot application. So in order to build that application will require a build tool. So Maven is the best tool right now in the market. We got other tools also and Gradle, but if you compare, Maven is the best tool. It's open source and we will be using Maven, and mostly you will be using Maven if you want any Java related projects to be built and released. Okay, now we'll understand what exactly is Maven from scratch. We'll see a demo on Maven. We'll create a project, simple Java project, and we'll see how we can manually build and release application. We'll see the Maven lifecycle. Post that, from Monday onwards we'll have a Spring Boot application and we'll try to use Maven over there with Azure DevOps build pipeline. Okay, so let's start, guys. This is Maven for you. Now what exactly is Maven? Maven is a Yiddish word meaning accumulator of knowledge. Okay, as build an attempt to simplify the build process. Maven is a powerful project management tool. It is not just build tool, guys. It's a project management tool based on POM. That's project object model. That is a major difference between Maven and other build tool which you will find in the market. So other build tool is basically, the main purpose of those build tools are just to build your project. But Maven will take care of your project, it will take care of your dependency, it will take care of the documentation part also. So it is not just a build tool, it is a project management tool. When I say project, it takes care of overall project. Build is the core capability, that's the primary functionality of Maven. Along with build, there are other things what Maven does well. It can manage your packages, your Java packages. It can help you do documentation on go, and it can help you manage the entire package in one single file. That's POM file. Okay. Now, what are the benefits of using Maven? It can help you simplify build process. Why do I say this? If any one of you have built Java from scratch manually, so we all know how difficult it is compiling Java, and if there are any third-party packages which you're using with Java, then getting those dependencies, getting the right version of dependencies, then building the package, creating a artifact out of it manually, it's a very clumsy task. And if your application is big, forget about building it. You'll spend half of your time just identifying what's wrong with your Java project. This is all done by Maven. Maven is an Apache tool. It's open source. It is built by Apache. Okay. So simplifying build process is the key benefit of using Maven. Second, uniform build process. What does this mean? So Maven projects can be shared with all other Maven projects. So if you have any Maven project and if you want to share with others, we can easily share it with this benefit of having a uniform build process. So there are even though if there's a change in version, guys, okay, if there's a change in version, Maven will automatically accommodate those change, and you will not even come to know, and your build will happen. Okay, because of this unified build process. It provides project information. So along with build, it has other information such as log document, cross-reference sources. Cross-reference sources is very key role over here. When you have packages from multiple sources, not just one source, guys. You're not just using maven.org. You're having packages from multiple sources. Then Maven will take care of those cross-reference sources also for you. It can also have a mailing list, dependency list, unit test reports, etc. So as I said, not just a build tool, this is a project management tool, and these are the additional things which Maven provides, which is not provided by other build providers. Okay. New feature migration, as I said, if there's a new feature or new version of Maven has introduced, and if you want to migrate to that new version, you can very easily do it without much efforts. Maven can help us with multiple other things such as build, documentation, reporting, source code management, releases, distributions. This is what overall Maven will help us achieve. Okay, now as I said, Maven works on project object model. Now what exactly this project object model is all about? So project object model is nothing but it's a POM file, guys. This is nothing but it's a POM file which will contain project and configuration information for Maven to build the project. So this single file has everything inside it. Where the source folder is, how to compile the folder, what packages needs to be created, what are the dependencies, what is the Maven version to use, what are the dependency needs to be downloaded, and what are the additional plugins we have. Everything you will have it inside this file. Everything. So your build is directly dependent upon the POM file which you create, and this POM file is auto created. I'll show you how this POM file gets created and things like that in a bit, but this is how the POM file plays a very important role. Now the POM file has information such as project dependencies, source directory, test source directory, plugins, goals, etc. Plugins like such as, if you imagine you want to have a code coverage, so you will require a Jacoco plugin for that. For Java you will need Jacoco, so that plugin will be added in your POM file. Suppose you need to run a unit test cases, then you will have JUnit plugin over here. Okay. Similarly, whatever additional things you want to do, everything will be there in your pom.xml file itself, and based on that file your build and everything will happen. Goals is basically what is the artifact you want to create, whether you want to create a jar file or a war file or a ER file. Everything, that goal will be mentioned inside your pom.xml file. Okay, let me show you how the pom.xml file looks like. This is a very simple example of pom.xml file. Now at the very top line, what you see, this is a maven.org link. So this is the place from where Maven will get you all the required dependency and packages. Okay. Secondly, this is the version which we're using. This is the latest version of Maven, guys, 4.0.0. If the version has changed, I'm not aware of. Now this is the version which is latest right now. And this is the name of your application basically. It's a group ID, you can call it as a group ID. This is the name of your artifact. Okay, and this is the packaging. So in this case, in this pom.xml file, just imagine this is a static application, so a jar file is which is getting created. If it is dynamic, then in that case mostly it will be a war file. This is the version of artifact which will be created and the name of your project. So this is a very simple example of project.xml file, a pom.xml file, which is basically telling you what all information it has inside it. It has many more information such as dependency list, it will have plugin list, it will have the source directory path, it will have many others. I'll show you. We'll look into an actual pom.xml file once we create it, don't worry. Okay, so this is what Maven looks like. There are multiple life cycle of Maven, guys. It's not there in my PPT, but it's definitely there on my notepad. There are multiple lifecycle which you will come across in Maven, starting with validate, compile, test. We'll see all this in a bit. Okay, let's go and see in practical. So what I'll do, I'll set up Maven from scratch. Now that Maven setup will be done on my Linux machine, guys. I'll not do it on my Windows machine. Surely I'll not do it on my Windows. So what I'll do, I'll go to my portal and I'll create one. I am in incognito mode. Give me 1 minute, let me end this. Okay, while I'm creating, anyone has any questions with this theory part? So the practical, what exactly we'll do, we'll have a Maven install. Where is my, give me 1 minute. We'll have Maven install and we'll have a skeleton of Java project created, and we'll see how we can test, how we can package this Java project manually. So this is we'll do manually, then we'll see if the Java project is working or not. That is what we'll see, we'll do in a bit. Okay, and on Monday we'll do the exact same thing. It would be a different application, not a simple Java project application. Will be have a Spring Boot application, a multi-tier application, wherein we'll build and deploy the application using Azure build release pipeline. Okay, so for now let me go and set up Linux quickly so that I can install Maven on top of it. Okay guys, any questions in between while we are waiting for the VM to come up? No questions? Okay, no worries. Let's wait then. Are you guys practicing? Anyone completed ASP.NET? No one?
Currently I'm doing ARM template, will complete within this week.
Perfect. Anyone else, guys?
I'm trying to mess with the parameter and the variable, but it keeps asking me to instead of, there's a way you can override the parameter such that you won't need to input the value you want, but it wants me to keep adding the value even when I try to do the override.
Okay, let us know if there's any difficulty, we can help you out further.
Yeah, that's the challenges I'm just having. I don't know if I'm doing anything wrong, why he keeps wanting me to pull the value.
Okay. Okay, we can see it after this session if you want, where exactly was stuck. I always share the screenshot, like if there's any such error, so just take a screenshot and share it in the group so that we can help you all immediately, because there are others who might have already done that part. So
okay,
so take a screenshot and share it. Don't wait for the last minute, because that will eventually you will waste your time. So take a screenshot, put it in the group and wait for the response. If no one respond, don't worry, I will definitely respond down the line. Okay, no problem. And I think there's something in the chat also. Bharati, perfect. Bharati, so Bharati has completed .NET deployment. Perfect, very good. Because the Java next week is complete Java, guys. So in Java there are multiple things, not just Java. We'll have SonarQube and many more things included. So make sure you complete your .NET thing by this week itself. Okay, so we have the VM. Perfect. Let me just go and log into this VM quickly. I could have set up Maven on my local window. I already have Maven on my local window, guys, so I just don't want to do things on Windows, hence I am just using Linux machine. But if you want to install Maven on Windows, it's quite possible. There's no issue. Okay, let me connect to this quickly. devopsmela. Okay, let me quickly go into root. Let's start doing things over here. So the first command, app update. So I have my commands written over here. I'll be sharing these files with you. These are the set of commands which you need to run. So Maven is a Java based tool. You will need a Java, guys. Without Java your Maven will not work. Hence I'm installing Java. If you see, I'm installing default JDK. As if now I will not have Java in this system. If you want to verify, you can quickly do a Java version. Java not found, so there's no Java. So what I'll do, I'll just install Java. Post Java is installed, I can go and install Maven. So this will get me the latest version of Maven. If you have any specific version requirement, then there is other way of installing Maven. You can go and add the repo, download the, or you can even have the binaries downloaded and unzip it. So there are other ways also. In this way, what will happen, this will get me the latest version of Maven, whatever latest version of Maven is there in the market. So we'll stick with that. Java is still installing. And this is the very small VM which I have launched, 1 vCPU and 1 gig of memory. Okay, so not something big, very small, which falls under free tier. So we'll just use it for this demo. Post that I'll be deleting this VM, guys. Okay, let's verify if the Java is installed. Perfect, we got Java 11. Now let's go and install Maven. App install Maven. So Maven is dependent on Java. If you don't have Java, your Maven will not work. Keep that in mind. Now Maven is installed. How do we verify Maven? So I can quickly run Maven version command and see. Okay, so we got Maven Apache 3.6.0. This is what we have installed. There's one more dash over here. Okay, so we got Maven installed. I don't have a Java project, so this is the Maven command, archetype generate. So basically this will generate a skeleton Java project for me for our testing. What exactly it will do, it will go and generate a skeleton Java project, and there are some system parameters. Group ID, I'm just giving my company name. The artifact ID is providing the artifact type Maven, quick start, template, and the version. These are the things which I'm defining along with this archetype generate. So this will basically get me the, what it will get me, it will get me a Java project, a simple hello world Java project, guys. This will create this automatically with all the required files. So if I just run this, build successful. Now if I just go through this, you see my app, this is the folder. If I go inside this folder, it's a complete structure of the Java project is created. But in place of going this way, what I can do, see, you have to go one at a time. What I can do, I can have one tool installed, that is app install tree. This tree tool will give you a tree like structure. This command is not given. Let me give it in the prerequisite. This command is very handy, guys, because this will give you a tree-like structure. What exactly is there? If I just do a tree followed by my application name, see how the structure looks like. So this is a Java project. If you see, you got a main, Java, com, my app, and this is your file actual file which is got created. Along with you have your pom.xml file, and then you have one test cases also. The beauty, you have one test case, you have a JUnit test also along with this. Now if you go and view this file, what exactly this file is, I can do a VI, quick VI. I can go to source. No, that firstly I have to go to in my app. Then I can go to source, main, Java, com, my company, app, and then the name of the file, app.java. See this. What exactly it is printing? Hello world. Very simple. System.out println hello world. It's using the public class app, public static void. This is how a print statement is running, hello world. Okay, so this much line of code is written just to print hello world. In Python we just have print and hello world, and it will do the same thing. Okay, so in Java if you want to print, this is what happening. Okay, same way if you want to go and view the test, what is this test cases? So this test cases is somewhere, let me remove this main, this is in test, perfect. Okay, let me do it again from complete. Okay, this is, it's better go inside it. Test. Okay, sorry, it is inside source, that's why it's giving me error. Source, test, Java, com, my company, app. Now let me put the VI over here. App test. See, this is doing a test. It is basically testing public void, answer with true. This is a rigorous test which is running on your home page, which you have. Okay, so it's a simple app. It is testing your app whether it is printing the home page or not. So if it is true, the test is passed. If it is fail, the test will fail. Okay, why exactly I'm showing you the structure? Is it required for a DevOps engineer to go and look into the unit test cases, to go and look into the application? The answer is no. Just an FYI, guys. This is just an FYI. You don't have to go deep dive into what application it is, what test the developer has written, what unit test cases running and things like that. No. The answer is no. You don't need to do anything as such. This is just an FYI which I am showing you right now. Okay. Now, more important thing what you need to view is the POM file. That is the more important thing which you need to view. So let me show you the POM file. Let me open this POM file in Vim. Okay, so when I open things in Vim, it will be in colorful, so it is easy to view. So now if you see the first two lines, this is where Java Maven works. This is connecting to Maven 4.0.0. This is the latest model version 4.0.0. This is your group ID, this is your artifact ID, this is the package which will be created 1.0 snapshot. This is the name of your app, and if you come down, there's one plugin dependency. You need a JUnit test. Why do you need a JUnit test? This is because you have unit test cases, correct? And this is Maven compiler 1.7. It's a very simple build which you see right now. Okay, so this is what pom.xml file has. It has all the information regarding your project. And if you want to make any changes, so you have to come and make changes to your POM file. Like suppose you want to add some code coverage, then you need to come to this file, edit the plugin of code coverage, whatever plugin you're using, whether you're using Jacoco, you're using Kubechra, or like whatever plugin you're using, you have to come and put it over here. If you have anything else, come and put it over here. Okay, now let's go and get this working. How do I build this Maven project manually? So for that I have to be inside the app. So this is my app. I have to go inside this app. So let's talk about various life phases of Java Maven project. Now the first thing is there are multiple life cycle. The first thing is validate. So validate is basically, as the name suggests, it will go and validate the project, whether the project is correct or not, and it has all the necessary information available. If there's anything issue with validate, you need to go and fix the pom.xml file. So how do we check? I can just run Maven validate. It will go and validate your project. Build success, where if you get a build success, that means your project is looking good. Now the other life cycle is Maven compile. So Maven compile will, as we know, Java is a compilation code. So you can compile your source code with this command. So we all know Java is a compilation language. Okay, so if you want to compile your project, you can, by simple command, you can just compile your Java project. Just imagine when you want to do a compilation manually, what all things you need to do. With this simple command, Maven compile, it will go and compile the source code for you. See, the compilation is in progress right now. Build successful. And see, there are multiple other files which is getting created. Under your root, app, target, there's a classes, compilation target, and things got created. Okay, once the compilation is done, if you want to test, so you got JUnit test also, correct? So if you want to test, you can simply do a Maven test. These are the steps which I'm running manually right now. This later we can do all in one single command. For now, let me do this manual. Maven test. So this is, will go and run the test cases for you. And it will create a test report also. So if you see, the test has run successfully, one test run successfully, one test passed, 0 failure, 0 error, 0 skip. We already had one test cases. And if you see, now if you go and run this tree command again, if you come down, run the tree command again, you can see multiple reports. Do you see your Surefire report? So this is your test report. The test classes, this is got created when you started doing the compilation. See, there are so many other files got created. This is happening because of the commands which we executed. What are the commands we executed? Validate, then we executed the compile command, then we executed the test command. So this is basically, I'm doing everything manually right now. Okay. Now later you can also have a command called Maven package. So this is basically what it will do. It will take the compiled code, the one which you have compiled right now, and it will package it into a distributed format. What do you mean by distributed format? It will create some sort of format like a WAR file or a jar file, which you can eventually go and deploy. That is what it will do. Build fail. Okay, we are not inside the folder, guys. That's why the build has failed. So we have to go inside the project folder first. My app, this is my project folder, and from here you have to go and run the command. Now see, it is build successful. Now if you see this is the source. This is the place where your jar file got created. This jar file is nothing but it's your application. This jar file, if I want to go and deploy it on Azure Web App, I can do it now. Your artifact is created basically. How we were creating a zip file in a .NET project, same way in Java, this is a jar file which got created. Now this is a very simple application. Now this jar file can be easily deployed. Okay, are we good till here? Now how do you test this jar file? Very important question. How do we test this jar file? So we can test this jar file by running Java command and checking if my application is running or not. I can copy this path. I can have something like Java -cp and then I can give the path of this jar file followed by my application name. So my application is something, I can give the group ID over here, that was something com.mycompany.app. So basically you can take it from the pom.xml file, you get this from the pom.xml file itself, hyphen ending with .app. Do you see I'm getting hello world printed? So that means my jar file is working perfectly. If I want to go and deploy the jar file, I'll have no issues. Okay. Now I have run multiple commands. I have run validate, then I have run test, then I have run package. There are multiple commands which I have running. There's one more command which I can execute, is mvn clean. So basically mvn clean, what it will do, it will go and clean up artifact which was created from the prior build. So if I go back, there are multiple files got created. Let me go back and run the tree command again. Let me show you. There are so many files, and you can see a jar file also. That's why I need this tree command. Just imagine if we don't have this tree command, you have to go inside the folder, each folder, to see which file is where exactly it is created. By this tree command, you can get a tree-like structure that this jar file got created inside target. So that's why this tree command is very important when you're working with Java or any other project from the Linux command line, guys. If you're there on the Windows folder, that's totally fine. But if you're there in the Linux command line, then this tree command comes very handy. Okay, so what I can do, if I want to clean the prior build, firstly I go inside the project again. Then I can simply do a mvn clean. These are all life cycle of Maven. These are the only 4 or 5 commands. If you get into an interview and if they ask you Maven related question, these are the only 4 or 5 commands, related commands, which you need to talk about. You don't need to be a Java expert for doing all this, guys. Okay, Maven clean. It will go and clean up everything. Now if you see this, everything got cleaned, build is successful. I can have the tree again. Let's come back. Gone, everything gone, whatever you did till now. Okay, so, and there are many other commands, guys, like such as integration test. If you want to do, if you want to verify if the package is valid or not, then there's a command called Maven verify. If you want to install any extra packages, any dependency, then there's a command Maven install. If you want to deploy from Maven command line itself, if you want to deploy something to a remote repository, there's a command called Maven deploy. So there are many things which you can do with Maven. As I said, Maven is not just a build tool, it's a complete project management tool. So Maven can, and if you want to create documentation, if you want to generate documentation, there's a command called Maven sites. So if you run this command, it will generate site documentation for the project. Automatically it will go and generate the documentation for your project, which you can use for reference. So what that documentation will have, the documentation will have everything related to the project. What is the project all about? What is the path? How many test cases do you have? How many source file? How many modules? How many controllers? Everything will be there with the single command. So Maven is not that difficult. It's very easy tool to understand. Now, till now we were running so many commands. Now let me give you one single command which does everything for you. One single command will do everything for you. Now you just have to do Maven clean, which will basically clean up the previous build, and package. Now this package, these two command, what it will do, it will clean it. The package command will run create the packages for you. Now this package command will first do the validation, which we did manual. The second, it will do the test. The third, it will go and run the package creation command for you. If I just run this command, my whole thing will be done. Everything will be done one at a time. The cleaning is happening right now. The Maven plugin download happening right now. The test has got successful. The compilation has happened, and now you got the jar file created. One single command does everything for you. Now if you want to quickly check, you can run the Java command again and it can display hello world for you. All these lifecycle phases are given inside my notepad. Validate, compile, test, package with a short description what exactly it does, integration testing, verify, install, deploy, and there are two other Maven lifecycle node beyond the list. You got clean and site. These are the only commands in Maven which you will be using, guys. Nothing apart from this. Okay, and if there's anything, any Java project, you can build it using all this command, and Maven will take care of all the dependency and everything. Now this jar file which we have, if you want to deploy the jar file on a VM, on a container, on a web app, on a container, then you need to write a Maven Docker file also. That's a different story. But this jar file, you can deploy it wherever you want. Okay, this is Maven for you guys. And based on this command which you are executing right now, based on this command, I'll be creating the build pipeline later for my Spring Boot application. Okay, are we good? Anyone has any questions with this Maven? Very simple, very straightforward. Anyone any doubt, any question, what is Maven and things like that now? I'll be sharing this documentation, guys. Don't see the above things, just focus on what this Maven part is, just focus on that Maven part. The above things I'll be covering on Monday, then we'll see this, the above part. Okay, anyone has any questions, please do let me know, or else we can destroy this VM. No questions, guys? Make sure to practice Maven from scratch and make sure to try this command by yourself. Run this command by yourself, one at a time, clean it, try to deploy it again. And if you want to have a site created, run the command Maven site and see how the documentation look like and see how things are done automatically using Maven. So all these major things are all done automatically, guys. No one is sitting and writing Maven pom.xml file. So later if you want to add plugins, you simply go and start adding plugins. That's it, nothing much you do. Okay. So if there's any question, please do let me know. I think, or else we need to wind up, because I may have I cannot start the new topic today because that's a continuation. So we'll start that on Monday itself, not before that, because I will need at least 1.5 hours to complete that topic, wherein we'll have a Spring Boot application. I'll introduce what this Spring Boot application is, how it looks. It's a two-tier application basically. In the front end it has Spring Boot, and then in the back end it uses Node.js. So we'll see that application, how exactly it looks like. Post that, we'll be creating a build and release pipeline for building and deploying that Spring Boot application. Okay, anyone, any questions? No question, then we may have to wind up 15 minutes early today. Okay, in the meanwhile, if there's no question, I think there was a doubt so related to variables. So do you want to share your screen? We can have a look on that if there's no question.
Okay. Yes, let me try to share.
Yeah, let me stop sharing and let me stop the recording as well. Okay.